Welcome back. Well, Hurricane Maria's direct hit on Puerto Rico was just the beginning of what is now a dangerous and deteriorating crisis. The entire island is without power and it could take up to 6 months to restore. But the most immediate threat right now is the dam on the verge of collapse in the country's northwest. 70,000 residents have been told to leave for fear of a total breach. And officials say hospitals are running out of drinkable water and fuel for their generators. Nick Paton Walsh is tracking the disaster and joins us now live from Puerto Rico's capital, San Juan. And Nick, people there dealing with no power and no water and no fuel, and now this threat from the dam. 70,000 people are told to evacuate. How is that proceeding?
When you hear the phrase a dam might burst, there's no real good news, but there has been some light relief for people in the path of that potential deluge of water overnight. Some of the flood warnings for Puerto Rico have been cancelled. They're still in place for 8,000 people in the direct vicinity around the Guataca Dam, but obviously that's a huge potential issue here. Obviously, as each hour passes and it hasn't burst, that brings some sense of good news. The evacuation's very complex, owing to the fact they had to use buses in the dark of night in already very difficult conditions to get people out. But that's one of a number of issues here that will sustain over the months ahead because of the lack of power, because of the crumbling infrastructure already battered by Hurricane Irma. We went to actually one of the more outlying territories of the United States, St. Croix, a tourist paradise that benefits from being remote because people like to go there on holiday, but is now cursed by the fact that it's suffering. Well, it's kind of hard for people to have heard. We were amongst the first to get there since it was struck by Hurricane Maria. Here's what we saw.
A remote world of daydreams and Caribbean sand. St. Croix's suffering silent so far. The US aid effort is only just reaching now.
I'll remain on this frequency.
That is FEMA flying over St. Croix today,
That's good.
making their assessment. And we've just flown in from the east where damage looks less heavy than out west, which appears to have borne the brunt of Hurricane Maria.
From beach resort to ghost town in a matter of hours. A curfew emptying the streets. The exact time this world changed, caught by the clock's broken hands. But at noon, they and their anger at nature and a government they think is underplaying their suffering emerges.
Feel like everything is okay. Everything is not okay over here.
It ain't no aid. It ain't nothing going on right about now. Everybody just trying to survive.
Well, just 2 days ago, this was paradise, but now everyone here is just trying to take stock of exactly what this new world means for their daily lives. When will the power come back? When can they reopen their business? And when will they realise, again, they haven't got to worry about what they have to eat?
Already the search for food.
I think the worst bit was when the rain started coming in and the winds were still howling and just the noises outside and not knowing.
We've been curfewed in.
Jamie and Brandon went to the nearby island of St. Thomas to help after Hurricane Irma, yet had their house torn apart by Maria. They drive us around their devastated world.
They told everybody to let their horses go before the storm.
This is not a world prepared for disaster. The Lost Dog Bar is lost for now. No electricity means no ice, means no business. And there are bees in the refrigerator.
The first day after the hurricane, dodging telephone poles and trees trying to get here, and took the generator and what we could, and they wouldn't let us come out here yesterday. So we were just hoping that there wasn't any looters. He's surviving. We're trying to make the best of it.
Tell me your song.
What is it? I'm still standing.
Yeah.
Life was easy. About vacations here. That's gone.
We went to Plaza Extra, the big grocery store on the West End, and the line is all the way out to the road. They're letting people in one at a time.
If it's going to look like this for months and months with no power, how are we even going to be able to get tourists down here so we can make a buck, so we can buy food, buy gas? I mean, what the hell are we going to do?
The West, Frederickstad here, took the full force of Maria. Being remote has been their livelihood for tourism, but is now their curse. We fly over huge lines for emergency food, but when we land later, it is all gone. 500 fed, but many still searching.
You hungry?
No.
You're right.
Yeah, man.
Getting supplies for the future.
I'm a soldier like you.
Later, we see two huge C-17 cargo planes land at the airport where the US Marines are moving in, as yet limited access to the West. Help is coming, but the future remains bleak and the past a much more comfortable place.
Linda, you have to remember this is a months-long recovery effort, long after the cameras have gone, and someone like St. Croix, well, really, everything that gets there to help has to be delivered by boat or by plane. That's an extraordinarily huge task for a place that depends entirely upon tourism, as you saw there, to keep itself afloat. They're angry, they're fearful, and possibly, hopefully, receiving some aid owing to those cargo planes that we saw, Linda.
All right, Nick Paton Walsh first. Good to have you there, bringing us those stories. Much appreciated.